Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra. In Kumasi, we are live on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions. We are on Pad FM in Damango, Swiss FM in Ho. We are on Dreams FM in Bogatanga, Gaskia FM in Techiman, Kaliawo FM in Akachi. You can go digital on Spotify and myjoyonline.com app. We are also live on Facebook. In this edition, angry scenes in Parliament as majority side face off with Speaker once again over whether the House is broke.
Because the Speaker's statement was a bit presumptuous. And I the greatest respect to him, he has exercised a bit of restraint. I think that he may not have made that comment that Parliament is broke.
We'll hear from a livid speaker who says that amounts to disrespect and won't countenance it.
I will not take the majority leader always going on air to counter what I say, particularly when I say it on the chair. I will not take that. I am in control here, and I'll continue to be in control until my term of office ends, or you decide otherwise. Enough is enough.
Also this afternoon, calls for Gender, Children and Social Protection Minister Sarah Joasafo to step aside following months of absence from Ghana intensifies.
You know there's something that you want to do to help, but you are not in the capacity to do it. So why don't you get off completely and allow somebody to come and do it if you are passionate about children and women?
We'll hear from her as constituents and her constituents as well, as she insists she will be back to take up her position as Minister and MP for Dom Kwabinya.
She's going to return when issues with family are well sorted out. Since I haven't resigned, when I touch down, I am going to do what I have to do as a minister.
Also, Education Minister under intense pressure to prove some 41,000 persons were trained. Another Gallop program will hear from Dr. Educhum, who has been rejecting claims of any wrongdoing, insisting the money is still in the accounts and will be used for the intended purpose.
The amount is sitting in our account, ready to be used for its intended purpose. Nothing can be further from the truth that Dr. Yao Educhum was or pretend over a project that is not going to benefit Ghanaians.
We'll also hear from education think tank Africa Education Watch, which is in doubt about whether the work was done before the demands for the money was made by the ministry.
Because the evidence was being provided by the Ministry of Education to World Bank is the existence or was the existence of 40,000 users on the training platform. That is not evidence of training.
And also this afternoon, 6 persons picked up in the northern region as NPP delegates begin executive elections in 6 regions today.
It appeared that most of them were here for a different purpose.
We hear from the national chairman of the party, who is urging delegates to reward competence, loyalty and dedication.
Some will push in money, but it doesn't appear to me that it's only the money that will make people be elected. Several other factors, competence, that's what people go in for.
And their sports.
Joshua Boache has what it takes to be a world champion, according to boxing coach Oforia Sari. Details later.
And this afternoon, Presec Legon, Accra Academy, and 11 other schools in the Greater Accra region battle for the APSA Greater Accra Science and Maths Quiz Trophy. We have more as West Africa Senior High School beats one-time winner St. Thomas Aquinas SHS to qualify for the finals of the competition. You want to stay for that and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apawu. Thanks for choosing us. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Let's start off from Parliament this afternoon, and the majority there has accused the Speaker, Alban Bagbing, of impatience after he claimed yesterday that Parliament is broke. The Speaker had cautioned the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, not to treat Parliament like other MMDAs by requesting for budget cuts and starving the institution of funds. But addressing a news conference this morning, Majority Chief Whip Frank Anodompre said 25 million cedis allocation for goods and services for Parliament, which had been outstanding, has been released.
I'm talking about a 25 million outstanding goods and service to Parliament. So yesterday, when the Speaker was lamenting, indeed, officially, the release had been effected. It was just going through the process. The communication often comes from finance ministry. It goes to controller, as the releases. It goes to BOG before it hits the account of Parliament. That is the normal process. So the process had kickstarted, and so it was just a matter of few hours for it to hit Parliament's account. Interestingly, I think around 2 to 3 p.m., I got a confirmation from Parliament that the money has indeed hit the account. So I'm quite surprised that, I don't know if it's because the clerk failed to update the Speaker accordingly, because the Speaker's statement was a bit presumptuous. And I the greatest respect to him, he has exercised a bit of restraint. I think that he may not have made that comment that Parliament is broke. It creates an image of our country, and it's not too good, especially in the face of the fact that releases had been done and was just going through the process. So the 25 million goods and services which was outstanding in relation to Parliament has been released, and I can confirm that it has hit the account.
Majority Chief Whip Frank Anodompre there at that earlier press conference. Well, the Speaker is, however, not taking such accusations lightly. He's been speaking on the floor of Parliament, and he took strong exception to such pronouncement, including a similar one from the Majority Leader, Osechi Mensah-Bonsu.
In Ghana, Parliament is not supreme. We subject to the Constitution. And so it's important that when the Speaker speaks from the chair, the Leader of the House, that is the leader of the members of Parliament, is not seen to be the one countering what the spokesperson of the arm of government sees. And if they want us to give documentary evidence about the non-funding of the House for this year, we will provide them. So when I heard that the leader of the House has gone on air to say that what I said is not true, it saddens me. In response to what I said yesterday, the government proceeded to release money yesterday quickly to the House to enable the House function. There's evidence to that, and that is on record. I will not take the majority leader always going on air to counter what I say, particularly when I say it on the chair. I will not take that. I am in control here, and I'll continue to be in control until my term of office ends, or you decide otherwise as members to remove me as the Speaker of the House by the votes of 3/4 of members of the House. Please, this is the last time I'll refer to it, and this is enough notice to whoever thinks that he has the same authority as the Speaker. Enough is enough.
Let me bring in parliamentary correspondent Kwesi Parker-Wilson. Kwesi, so after the Speaker issued that threat or a warning on the floor of Parliament, what was the reaction, especially from the majority side?
Well, so on the faces of the majority, they look quite unhappy with the Speaker's pronouncement. And just as the majority chief whip indicated at a press conference, they don't want to have any banter or disagreements with the Speaker going forward. So after the Speaker's outburst on the floor of Parliament, the majority caucus did not say a word, and then they moved on to do other businesses.
About the non-funding of the House for this year, we will provide them.
And in the reason Parliament has adjourned for Tuesday.
That's parliamentary correspondent Kwesi Parker-Wilson. Now resign if you cannot perform your functions as a minister. That's the verdict of governance think tank Center for Democratic Development after Gender, Children and Social Protection Minister Sarah Adwoa-Safo broke her silence on a long absence from her role. In a Joy News exclusive, Madam Adwoa-Safo mounted a strong defense for her absence, insisting she'll be back for her job when the time is right. We'll hear from CDD shortly. First, though, a report from our political desk on that exclusive interview.
She was at one point Ghana's most wanted MP. She was wanted by the presidency, Parliament and her party. They needed her to back their numbers in Parliament to approve government's most critical revenue measure, the e-levy, without which the Finance Ministry had said the economy will probably collapse. Well, for 8 months, try as they did, no one could find her. But Joy News did, and Sarah Adjosafo seized the moment from her base in the USA, live on a Zoom connection to set the record straight.
I am not intentionally abandoning my duties and my responsibilities. My son is unwell and he has to transition to school. And as a mother, I have to ensure that all that is settled before I can resume my duties.
She says the president was fully aware of her reasons for being absent.
The Adjosafo story is exactly what I've told you about. And that's what communication I have sent to His Excellency the President, and he's very much aware of what is happening to me and my family. I haven't given up on my party. I am still very loyal and committed to the party and to His Excellency the President.
She and 2 other MPs are subject of a probe by Parliament's Privileges Committee that may lead to her seat being declared vacant. The committee began work yesterday, but she says she has not been invited.
The Privileges Committee wants me to be in Parliament, but as we speak, I don't know that I've been invited. I have to be served, and I'm not aware that any such thing has been given to me. I'm just hearing it from you. And I don't have to be served through Joy News.
So is it true that she blackmailed the government when they needed her to pass the e-levy?
I'm not going to respond to third parties, what they think and what their opinions are. I debunk all that, allegations, and, they say silence is golden.
So when will she return to Ghana to represent her people?
She's going to return when issues with family are well sorted out. And that is not something that I can predict. Since I haven't resigned, it's implied. When I touch down, I am going to do what I have to do as a minister, since I haven't been relieved of my post yet.
Adjosafo concludes by stating that she forgives all her colleagues, both in Parliament and in government, who spoke against her publicly.
Well, let's hear from research analyst at the Center for Democratic Development, Guilfred Isiama, on Adjosafo's absence.
If this and what she is doing is happening at all levels of governance, can you imagine what will happen? I think she really doesn't have the kind of moral right to be saying the things that she's saying, that I am coming back to take my ministry, having been absent for how many months. The right and the honorable thing was for her to just, step aside. Because there's something that you love to do, there's something that you want to do to help, but you are not in the capacity to do it. So why don't you get off completely and allow somebody to come and do it? If you are passionate about children and women, as you claim to be, if you are passionate about the people in your constituency, for how long are you going to be absent or be in the capacity not to execute the functions and the things that you love so much? And again, preventing other people from being in the same position to do that.
Well, that's Guilfred Isiama, the research analyst at the CDD. We'll be hearing from the chairman of the Privileges Committee, Joe Wise, on whether they actually extended an invitation to Sarah Adjosafo or not. But let me take you to the Dom Kwabinya constituency and hear from her constituent. Samuel Mbura is there for us. Samuel, I'm sure constituents have been reacting to this particular interview by their MP, Sarah Adjosafo. What have they been saying?
So, Emefa, we do know that Dom Kwabinya is the largest constituency in the country in terms of the political demographics and landmarks as well. So you should expect that residents should be worried about her absence. It has been a whole lot of mixed reactions from residents. Some of them hold the view that in as much as her reasons may be justified for her being absent from Parliament, the constituency has some teething challenges that she has to come and address them. They also think that the honourable member owes the constituents an apology for her long stay outside the jurisdiction of the country. But in all, they are happy that finally the Member of Parliament has spoken, and they are also waiting to see her in the constituency shortly. We were at the party's constituency's office. However, it was locked, so we couldn't get officials of the party also hear their side of the story. But it has been a whole lot of reaction from the constituency here at Dom Kopnia.
Well, so that's my colleague Samuel Imbura there speaking to us from Dom Kwabenya. We can hear from some of the constituents.
I just have to come and continue her good work she has been doing for us. We're just expecting her to come. That's all.
So how has her absence affected you?
In so many ways. In so many ways. She should come and continue the good work she has been doing for us. She said her son is not feeling well, so she's taking care of the son. Yes.
That's why I don't really care about what is going on, because maybe it's the work she's doing. I don't know if it is good for her or the causes people will complain about it. But if people are not complaining, we are still here.
But you are a constituent. Are you complaining?
I don't know. I can complain because I can see some difficulty in our area, our roads, and if our MP is not around, we don't know what to do. But that's why we have to wait for her to come.
When are you expecting to see her?
I don't know. It all depends on her. We cannot force her to come. Yeah.
Some Dom Kwabenya constituents there. Let me take you to the Privileges Committee, and the chairman has been speaking. He's been rejecting claims that Adwoa Safo was not invited by the committee.
I think the appropriate thing for a person interested to raise the matter on the floor of the House, that such a member has been absent without permission, and maybe refer to the boards of proceedings to show that on this day you was absent. You count 15 sitting days continuously, and then satisfy that indeed the number, correct number has actually been met, that the person is absent for that number of period. May refer to the Privileges Committee for the person to go and offer an explanation why he should not be, he should not vacate the seat.
Something again happened on the floor, and the speaker again, he went on to say categorically that the vote...
Apologies there. That's not a recent sound from Joe Weiss. We'll be hearing from him. He's been interacting with my colleague Kwesi Parker-Wilson moments ago on this rejecting claims that Adwoa Safo has not been invited by the committee. He also says that the committee will take a decision if she fails to appear before it.
And subsequently, when we changed the date for meeting, we sent another letter. So as to whether she has received them or not, I can't confirm. But what I can tell you is that the committee has formally written to her. We sent her a letter through her email address, through her WhatsApp number, and through her office.
So it is obvious that what then would the committee intend to do?
Of course, because she has not responded to us, we will send a reminder. In any case, we have rescheduled our meetings, so we will send her a reminder.
When we spoke to her yesterday, it was obvious that she's not coming to Ghana anytime soon.
That's obvious, is according to your view.
No, she said that when she is done with her family issues, that is when she will come.
But that's your interpretation. The obvious is your interpretation, not her words.
So, Leader, my question is, if she does not appear before the Privileges Committee, what then happens?
The committee will take a decision.
And what would the decision be?
How can I talk about a decision when we haven't taken it? The committee will take a decision when we get there.
Would that be a breach of parliamentary procedure and parliamentary...
But if she wouldn't come to Ghana, would you consider to do a Zoom interview or whatever?
Yes, in our letter to her, we stated so, that we offer her the opportunity to interview her via Zoom. It is stated in her letter, in the letter to her. Not yet. So we know that, let me say, we cannot confirm whether the letter sent through her secretary has reached her.
That's the chairman of the Privileges Committee of Parliament, Joseph Osei-Wusu. Now, the Minister for Education, Dr. Yawosia Duchum, says his ministry has undertaken the digital literacy training for over 41,000 teachers across the country. Hence, it's come to him as a surprise that reports are in the media that the project was never executed under the Ghana Accountability for Learning Outcomes Project Gallup, funded by the World Bank. We know that the World Bank in 2019 approved $150 million in financing to the government of Ghana to improve the quality of education for over 2 million children in low-performing basic education schools. Addressing a press conference, the Education Minister, Dr. Yawosia Duchum, rejected the claims of any wrongdoing. based on the education minister's own justification for the release of $1.2 million in November 2021, claiming it has successfully trained over 40,000 teachers under Gallup. The World Bank and its partner agencies are asking for a detailed account of the funds intended for a digital literacy program in a letter written in January 2022. A response from the ministry never came, forcing the World Bank to direct its query to the Ghana Education Service, which in turn wrote to the Ministry of Education in a letter dated March 30, 2022, seeking further clarification. Portions of the letter read, I quote, "The GES is unaware that any such training has taken place, unaware of the attached reports and correspondence."
Went there and they did a training. At the time that the project was about to come to an end, we had trained over 41,000 teachers. The World Bank then asked the development partners in Ghana to form a consortium and verify if the ministry has really done the work so that they can release the 1.2 million. The development partners then came, looked at the platform, verified the list of people on the platform, and came to the conclusion that the work has been done. As I speak with you, the amount is sitting in our account, ready to be used for its intended purpose, buying furniture, buying teaching and learning materials, ensuring that in Gallup schools, everything that they need can be done using the 1.2 million. Nothing can be further from the truth that Dr. Yao Seiduchum was or pretend over a project that is not going to benefit Ghanaians. It will never be true. I will never do that. I didn't come to this country to do that.
Well, that's the education minister. Well, there have been increasing calls for an independent probe, with the latest call coming from the education think tank, the Africa Education Watch. We've been hearing from the deputy ranking member on the Education Committee also on this. We'll be hearing from Africa Education Watch shortly. But Dr. Matthew Poku-Prempeh, a former minister of the sector, has dismissed claims that the project was undertaken under his watch. So in a 3-point statement, the minister clarifies that under his watch as education minister, the Ghana Education Service did not undertake the teacher training component of Gallup to warrant the claim for the said $1.2 million from the World Bank. He also asked that the digital teacher training under the KA Technology Teacher Laptop Program must not under any circumstances be confused with the Gallup Teacher Digital Literacy Training Program under the National Teachers Council. CAT digital training isn't a substitute for Gallup, he says. Well, we can get details of that statement from the Africa Education Watch. Joy News editor Fred Smith joins me in studio with details. What are they saying?
Well, in this statement, Africa Education Watch is not pleased that there are some discrepancies in the comments and actions they've had so far, and in this statement have issued some recommendations to be undertaken. It says for point 1, to put to rest the contention surrounding the digital learning training disclaimer by the GAS and affirm the institutional credibility of the Ministry of Education, the World Bank should conduct an independent audit of the training by KA Technologies to establish its scope, relevance, quality and reach, and make public its findings. To promote transparency and accountability in the management and implementation on Gallup, the Ministry of Education must publish all project-based condition reports, annual implementation progress reports, and implementation completion reports by Gallup on its website. These and other recommendations are contained in that statement, Emefa.
Okay, thank you very much, Fred. And they've also been talking about the relationship between the Ministry of Education and the GES, asking the presidency to intervene to resolve that perceived factionalism between the two agencies. When we return from a quick break here on the Midday News, we turn our attention to the election headquarters. And already 6 persons have been picked up in the northern region as NPP delegates begin that regional elections in 6 regions today.
It appeared that most of them were here for a different purpose.
We're hearing from the national chairman of the party, who is urging delegates to reward competence, loyalty and dedication.
Some will push in money, but it doesn't appear to me that it's only the money that will make people be elected. Several other factors, competence, that's what people go in for.
And Presec, Legon, Accra Academy and 11 other schools in the Greater Accra region battle for the APSA Greater Accra Science and Maths Quiz. We have more as West Africa Senior High School beats one-time winners St. Thomas Aquinas SHS to qualify for the finals of the competition. Please stay for details.
Akwaba, ba Akwaba Magic Ebusia, brand new channel, Tia Roba, Emuno Chiao, Ewo DSTV channel 149 and Go TV channel 108. Enianom Akwaba Magic Ebusia, Eddie Nidia wa Ghanaian programs mu Baufi, Ebi to set the day, to have and to hold, Enyom Senior Cassia, series any talk show, Bemo Account TV set Nichi, Akwaba Magic Ebusia, Ewo DSTV access to your 50 Ghana cedis per and Go TV value to your 25 Ghana cedis per Ebusia Akwaba.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's do sports. Very cool.
Head coach of Ghana's amateur boxing team, Oforia Sarr, believes that Ghanaian-born British boxer Joshua Boakye would be the next Ghanaian to win a world title. This comes after Boakye beat Craig Richards in the title eliminator bout last weekend.
I think Boakye has proven his determination to become a champion. He came to Ghana, knocked on our doors. We trained together with him, and he was doing very well. But the opposition of against our leader, Ray Kwaku, was what couldn't
get him to fight for Ghana.
And he himself confirmed a whole lot of things that he has acquired from training in Ghana Olympics. I believe he has a lot in him. He has the nature of a champion. His response in so many challenges tells me that he's going to be the next champion. Wish him well. I believe very soon he will also be a world champion.
Well, that is how we're wrapping up the sports here.
Thank you very much, Oreku Ampofo. It's time to hit the election headquarters. Unaccredited delegates of the governing New Patriotic Party are voting in 6 regions: the Northern, Northeast, Upper East, Bono East, Ahafo and Savannah regions to elect regional executives. Already in the Northern region, there have been 6 arrests. We'll get there shortly, but let's hear from the national chairman of the party, Freddie Blay, urging the delegates to reward competence, loyalty and dedication.
Delegates will they live with aspirants, those who aspiring to various positions. At this stage, it's for the the regional executives, and indeed the regions, all the 16, all the 16 branches all over the country, we are geared up towards that. And surprisingly, and I must say, I'm pleasantly surprised. The people are keenly interested in it. It means. The context is keen. People are doing all that they can to ensure that they will. Of course, sometimes even some will even say that it becomes monetized.
Let me take you on the ground now. Straight, I've been telling you about the Tamale area, and we're told that there have been 6 arrests so far. But Elias Otanko is covering for Joy News in the Northeast region. He joins us on the line. Elias, what can you report?
Well, Emefa, a while ago, the voting has just ended, and as I speak to you now, currently, they are in the process of counting their ballot. We have a heavy security presence here, and the regional minister earlier appealed that the election should be peaceful. So now voting has ended, and counting is ongoing.
We'll come back later to Elias Otanko for more on this. Upper East regional correspondent Albert Sorry is also monitoring events for us there. But Martina has been interacting with a member of the planning committee on these arrests.
Yes, about 6 persons have been arrested by police. It appeared that most of them were here for a different purpose. We were here as early as possible to ensure that the gates were open to them.
Apologies for that poor quality in sound there. Albert Sorry joins us. Albert, what can you report where you are? Hello, Albert Sorry. Okay, it appears that Albert Sorry is unable to hear us, but let's hit National Science and Maths quiz. this afternoon, undisputed champions of the National Science and Maths Quiz, Presec, Legon, Accra Academy, and 11 other schools in the Greater Accra region are competing for the APSA Greater Accra Science and Maths Quiz trophy. Some minutes ago, though, West Africa SHS beat one-time winners St. Thomas Aquinas SHS, St. Mary's SHS, and St. Margaret Mary SHS to qualify for the finals of the competition. Listen to some of the students.
Okay, so I'm live from West Africa Senior High School, and in this contest, we knew we win this contest. We knew we win this contest because if you go for trial contest with them, I mean, last them, Catholics can't come, Margaret can't come, Aquinas can't come. Who are they? Who are they? I know my boys. We've been drilling every day. See that man there. See that man there.
Well, students from West Africa Senior High Schools, after beating St. Thomas Aquinas, congratulations once again. That's how we end today's edition of the Midday News. We're live on Joy 99.7 FM, also on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions. Many thanks for listening. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Come and account for COVID-19 expenditure. Babing directs Oforiata. Also there, we may hear Ajwa Safova Zoom Privileges Committee and Osinachi's husband charged with homicide. We have Living Word with Pastor Mensel Tabil. I am Emefa Apawu. Many thanks for your company.
Hello, please, am I speaking to Miss Joanna Kuma?
Yes, please.
My name is Philip and I'm calling from MTN. Someone has just sent you money and we will need you to enter your PIN number so that we can put the money in your account.
Hey,
oh, Dada, MTN will never ask you for your PIN. Never reveal your PIN to anyone